What's up? It's your boy Carcino here. Welcome back. I'm under the weather, drastically under the weather. Should have had this hoodie 100% on my head. Woo. I wanted to see who was going to touch on the real reason why Tom Thibodeau was fired. I waited. I said I'm not going to report on it really. I'm going to sit back. 2 days went by. I never really went into it at all. I wanted to see what everybody else was going to say. And as predicted, nobody even dove into the reason why the man was fired. They said, well, the Timberwolves are not where they expected to be. And they thought it was ready to make a move. Very poor excuse. And whoa, what is this? I'm like, geez, nobody got a notification. Like, what in the world is happening here? They might be fixing something and I don't know anything about it. That's Yeah, it was just the timing of it. They let him go out on a good game. But here's the reason why he was let go. Now, after last season, when they brought in Jimmy Butler, and they were all excited about the future with the Timberwolves. Right before the season starts, there was some conflict with Jimmy Butler. No need to go back down that road. We all know what it is. So, after the conflict with Jimmy Butler, it led us to another situation. And this time, the situation was with please forgive me. The situation was with Jimmy Butler. Good morning, man. I'm trying to get through it. Man, I'm suffering right now. Jimmy Butler and the owners decided that they wanted to move Jimmy Butler as quickly as possible. Thibodeau made that very difficult as he wanted to keep Jimmy Butler. And he was only going to let Jimmy go for a certain amount of money. You know, he wanted to bring the farm in. So the ownership was happy with what they was being offered for Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat and from the Houston Rockets. Tom Thibodeau turned those deals down, which pissed off management. They definitely had a disagreement in which direction they wanted to go in, and the deal they made to trade him to Philadelphia did not sit well with them when they would have rather had the Miami Heat deal with Pat Riley more than anything else on the table. Because what the ownership agreed with and what they wanted, they got, and then Tom Thibodeau tried to squeeze them for more. So they were very pissed off with the deal, and they weren't very happy with the deal that they had with uh, Philly. The players they brought in hadn't really made an impact, and with his system, it didn't quite mesh. So when the trade was done and they brought in these players, the ownership wasn't really with it, and they said, you know what? Let's see what he do. Okay? Now, if he can turn this thing around and we won't fire him right away, but he's got to go. This then basically sealed his fate here in Tampa. He's got to go. So when the decision was made to get rid of uh, Tom Thibodeau, it just was a matter of time. Also in this equation, Tom Thibodeau is also the general manager. So all player personnel, all the contracts, the hiring, the GM work, that was him. So when he decided to, well, Wiggins is already paid. When he decided, and the ownership decided to supermax the cat, and Jimmy's like, well, what y'all gonna do for me? They offered Jimmy $100 million extension, and he turned it down. And they thought Jimmy would jump at that chance, but I don't see Jimmy probably. Jimmy's looking for a supermax, and I just don't know if they're going to give him a supermax. That's just me personally. I just don't think that they got the supermax money waiting on Jimmy Butler. Anybody can get that money. I think at this point. So anyway, he's undermined one of his assistant coaches because this is not a guy he chose. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been grooming, and they want Ryan to be their head coach eventually. So he's going to stay on as part of the assistant staff because Flip Saunders' son, Ryan, is what they Tibbs look at as the token job. He never really included Ryan and took him seriously as an assistant coach. He basically took him on as, well, you're the owner's, toy thing. I gotta deal with you because I never chose you. But he's like 32 years old and still a baby in the game. So they've been grooming him, but I don't think he's ready. It had nothing to do with him being on the sideline yelling. He was yelling every game he's ever done. Has nothing to do with that. They were trying to deal with it and wait till later, but they've been wanting to move him. And right where they at now, they was just like, we almost 500. We thought we'd be way better than 500 at this point. Let's just cut away from Tibbs now. This way we get the assistant in there. We get to see what Ryan could do. Ryan Saunders is Flip Saunders, and Flip is the Minnesota coach. And when Flip passed away, to have his son coach the Timberwolves is their ultimate goal. Tibbs is not one for all that at all. So Tibbs is just like, look, I'll let him be an assistant. He'll be standing there with a clipboard, but that's it. His job is to deal with all the players' needs. Other than that, nah. So he wasn't one of Tibbs' guys. So they got anybody who had any loyalty to Tibbs out the door. And that's why Tibbs was fired. So Popovich is the only one left that is a player. I mean, that is a coach and general manager. They're trying to eliminate that process altogether, and just like no trade clauses. They're trying to eliminate as many of those as possible. I'm sick as a dog, man. Oh man. I got fooled by that Monday weather pretty much. I went out there yesterday and got tore me up. I'm a mess right now. Complete mess. They ain't even sent a notification out. It's like terrible right now with the videos and stuff. I don't know how I'm gonna get through. Yeah. Well, you got all the information you need on that. Nobody's giving you that information, and I'm shocked that they never even mentioned that. All these shows that covered Tom Thibodeau being fired and never mentioned the reason why they fired him. That is the craziest thing in the history of mankind. The man was fired because it's a mess. This whole day is a mess. I can't believe they didn't even put it all together. Is when he turned down those deals, like nobody even gave it a second thought. That's what got him fired. The management was not happy with what they got back, or ownership wasn't happy with what they got back in the trades. They were more happy with the Miami deal more than the Houston deal. They were really happy with the Miami deal, what Miami was offering. And Tibbs wouldn't pull the trigger on trading Jimmy Butler and drug this thing out in Minnesota, and they wanted him fired. He already was on the hot seat because he was basically groomed. They're grooming Ryan Saunders, the assistant. He's kind of too young right now to be the head coach, but they are going to keep him as an assistant. That's Flip Saunders' son, the late great Philip Saunders, the Minnesota Timberwolves former coach who came back to coach him 2 times. You know they love him. Oh man, Whew, man, this ain't good. This ain't good. So they decided to let his plan play out to see where they were going to be. They kind of had an idea where they think they should be by the All Star break, and they're not there. So yeah, they just said let's get rid of Tibbs right now. Yeah, well, let me go ahead and deal with this, man. I'm tired. Y'all got all the information y'all need. I gotta get my throat together. I'm just a mess.